Today we're going to use the pencil and brush characteristics to create this pretty cool glowing dots light effect. First thing that we're going to need to do is find a photo of yourself or your friends and use the magnetic lasso or the quick selection tool to create an extraction like I did right here. You can leave it on the original background or you can put it on a new background as I did in this case. Next step is to press B or select the paintbrush and then right click and make sure the master diameter is approximately 6 pixels and the hardness is all the way down to 0. Next step, make sure your foreground color is white, and that's really crucial. Now we're going to press F5. We know that F7 opens up the layers palette, but F5 opens up this brush window. The first thing that we're going to need to do is make sure that shape dynamics is checked. It might be unchecked, and when you do check it, you're going to see that we've got a number of options in the right. Don't worry about it. And I'm going to illustrate precisely how this works right now. Next, you're going to press P or select the pen tool and making sure, of course, that the paths are selected up here. And you can select once, select again, and once we've got a nice path, you're going to then right-click, click on stroke, and then make sure that brush is selected. It might be something else. We're going to select a brush and then make sure that simulate pressure is checked, and you're going to press OK. When you press escape and we sort of zoom in, we can see that it starts off pretty small and it gradually gets bigger until it gets smaller at the other tail. This is the technique that we're going to be using to create this light effect. So I'm going to press Ctrl-Alt-Z. I'm going to press escape. And I'm going to press P once more to select the pen tool. So what I'm going to do is start creating this path around these two individuals. And what's going to happen is this light effect is going to orbit around. And you're going to have some fun. You're going to experiment. And remember that if you want to move the handle or another aspect, you can simply hold Alt and you can juxtapose one angle with another or pull it out like so. And let's keep this moving. If you need to move the brush's window or close it, simply press F5. You can always open it up a little bit later. Okay. Click and drag. Great. So now what I'm going to do is right click. And before we do stroke path, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press F7, and I'm going to make sure that we're on a new layer because we might need to make modifications later on, and that's pretty important. So I'm going to right click, I'm going to do stroke path, simulate pressure, brush, I'm going to press OK. So that looks pretty cool so far. Now what I'm going to do is press F5 once more. And as we open the brushes window, we can take a look and see that we can't check anything or make any changes. That's because the pen tool is selected. To select the brush, we can press B, and now we can see we can make modifications. So shape dynamics is what we checked before. We're going to keep that checked, and we're now going to select scattering. To make modifications to scattering, we're going to click right on the word itself, and we're going to make sure that both axes is checked. We can see that the scatter is about 500%. We're going to have the count at 4 and the count jitter 98% and the control off. And then if we look at the bottom of this window, we can see this little diagram, and that's going to be sort of what we create with this image. So to apply that, we need to return to the pen tool. So I'm going to press P, and I can see that the path is still selected. So I'm going to right click, select stroke. I'm going to make sure that simulate pressure is checked. That's really crucial, along with brush. I'm going to press OK. And there we go. If you're happy with that, what we're going to want to do is press escape and escape twice. And I'm going to press F5 to get rid of this brushes window. And that looks pretty cool. I'm going to now press F7 to open up the layers palette. I'm going to make sure that I'm on the dots layer. I'm going to double click and label it. Looks good. Now I'm going to click on this FX effect to add a layer style, specifically outer glow. The default is yellow, but you can change it to any color you want. I'll do a dark blue, and I'm going to change the blending mode from screen to normal. That looks pretty cool right there. I'm going to press OK. Next step, we need to delete these glowing dots so it looks professional, looks clean, like it's orbiting our figures. And to do that, what I'm going to do is click on layer 2, And now I'm going to hold Control and click right on the image, right on the icon. And we can see that now the exterior, or like the perimeter of this layer is selected. I'm going to press E to select the, and now we can, ideally we'd be deleting the dots, but we got to make sure we're on the right layer. So let's return to this dots layer. There we go. Perfect. Alright, so you're going to go through, you're going to make sure that it looks pretty cool. Let's see. You might find yourself changing the size of the brush. To do that, you're going to right click, and there we go. Alright, that looks pretty cool right there. I'm going to press Control D to deselect, and I'm going to do one final step. I'm going to press Control J, and what that does is that duplicates this dots layer, so now we can see that we've got two layers. I'm going to now, on this duplicated image, press Control I, and that inverts the color, and I'm going to change this now from normal to overlay, and that makes the dots just a little bit more bright. That makes everything just a little bit more vibrant. I'm gonna zoom out, and that's pretty cool. I bet you guys can do much better. I'm really looking forward to seeing your work. If you have any questions, let me know. Good luck.